Okay, perfect. I'm Nayeli. I work at Joyous. I'm also a patient. Um,
Nice to
but
meet
yeah, so there's like a few guiding questions to kind of guide the conversation, but it's totally open just to hear about your experience and whatever story you'd like to share.
you. Okay.
You can start with just like a quick intro, your name, and anything else about yourself you'd like to share.
All right. Yeah, my name's Taylor. I'm 26 years old and I live in Washington. And yeah, I did Joyous, I think, for about 3 months. And yeah, really, really helped change my mental health. So I'm super grateful for that.
Awesome. Um, so let's start maybe just like before you found Joyous, if you could share a little bit about like what life was like, maybe the things that you were experiencing and what kind of led you to search for something like Joyous.
Yeah, so 2023 was a really hard year for me. The main catalyst was I went through a pretty tough, unexpected career change that was super chaotic and just like sent my whole life through chaos where I was job hopping and moving a lot and it was really, really hard on me. And it not only like affected me in that way, but also just like brought up so many other things in my life that I realized were bothering me. Um, and yeah, I just realized I had to like work through a lot of that. But yeah, that event caused me so much anxiety for like a year and a half and a bit of depression. Um, and for a while, I honestly didn't really know what was wrong with me because I never like experienced something like that before. So through my own research, I realized I was experiencing anxiety and depression. And yeah, I don't have health insurance with my current job. So going down that medical route, I didn't really want to do that. And I kind of like alternative medicine, like more, you know, holistic or psychedelic. I have some friends that have dabbled in it and they were the main ones who kind of pointed me in this direction. And yeah, I just did my own research and came across you guys because I like that it's still, guided by providers and you can trust the source and everything. So yeah, that's kind of how I got here.
Amazing. Well, challenging. Oh, sorry, you might hear my dog.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say amazing, but also that experience is
Yes.
not so amazing. But yeah, just glad that you maybe were a bit open to it. Did you have any hesitation? I know we often hear people are like, yeah, ketamine, like, maybe they've heard something about it, but they know about it in a certain context, or maybe they don't know anything about it. Like, what was your perception, or did you have any fears about it?
Yes and no. Yes, because like, I've lived in Colorado and I live in Washington where like weed's legal. So for a while I would like took edibles when I was younger and like I was okay, but then I started having like bad experiences with that where I was having like terrible anxiety, paranoia. So I was like, okay, I don't want to do that anymore. And yeah, I just have like bad experiences anytime that I'm like high. So doing this, I didn't know if I was going to have that experience too. So of course I was a little afraid, but um yeah, again, knowing that like the source that it was coming from like a trusted source and everything, I wasn't too afraid. But yeah, the first few times I was a little nervous, but I didn't have any anxiety or anything. So yeah, it was really good.
That's awesome. What did you start to notice in yourself, or maybe what other people noticed about you when you were like, oh, something does feel like it's changing? Like, what were those things that you noticed?
I just felt happier because what was like going on in my head was like I just felt like I was stuck in like a negative thought loop and I just like yeah, I didn't have like a lot of joy in my life anymore and I was just always like kind of like angry or like down, just irritable. Um but yeah, like through the treatment, especially after like the first month, I just noticed that I was way happier and like I could like see the joy in things again. So yeah, it was really good.
That makes me happy. I'm only muting myself in case my dog barks. But
That's okay. I love
um,
dogs.
one of the things, yeah, I mean, I love that. I think the thing we hear often is like, oh, I tried SSRIs or something and I felt numb. I didn't feel like myself, or like, I was in the depression and I like kind of lost interest in my hobbies or like the things that actually made me happy. And so yeah, like I feel like that's just it's great to hear. I mean, it's something similar with me too. I've had anxiety for forever. So it's where you start to maybe it's like subtle differences that you notice in yourself where you're like, oh, I would have reacted differently to that, or so stuff like
Yeah.
that. I think that's the part that for me is just like, ah, it's so good to hear. It's such a But
Yeah. Yeah,
um,
it's cool hearing other people's experiences from it.
yeah.
Everything's
Um,
so different.
what did your family members or friends notice anything? Did they ever like reflect anything back to you?
Um, I did have one friend, but also I've just been like doing so much because like everyone around me like knew exactly what I was going through. Like I was super open about it for the past like 2 years almost. So I was telling everyone like I'm having the worst time ever. Um, so yeah, once I got on the ketamine, not too many people said anything, but I did have one friend who's like really close to me who said like I can see it and I'm super proud of you. So that was cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think one of the other things too is like, I mean, we hear often that they, people expect it to be like a bit of a magic pill. Like they're like, I should take it and I should feel better. And like, that's it. But we also know that because it's enhancing neuroplasticity, you're able to break through different thought loops. You're able to kind of get a new perspective of some of those old thoughts, or just something kind of opens up a little bit.
Mhm.
And a lot of people benefit from like meditation or making art or listening to music and just dancing around or like just doing things that bring them joy. So what kinds of things did you do when you would take your medication? Was there any kind of like, the videos that we have on Be Joyous, was there anything that you felt like was really supportive for you as you were doing the medication?
Yeah, so at first, like I love learning. I'm like such a nerd. So going through the course, I really like because I just wanted to like learn everything about it. And I like doing meditations. Like I do all the stuff all the time. So I like doing the meditations. I completed the whole course that was online. And I liked it, but I didn't, I don't know. I felt like I wasn't like as happy as I could be. So I came for me, I just personally would take it and I'd put some music on, and it was usually like healing music or just like music that made me feel good, or it's like, songs that like kind of pertain to my situation. I would just go for a walk around my neighborhood because I live in beautiful Washington, beautiful views here. And yeah, sometimes I was really happy, or sometimes I'd cry. But that's pretty much what I landed on is like when I take it, I'll just go for like a long walk and listen to music.
That's a common one, I think.
Yeah.
Even just like being able to just like connect where you're like, I can be present. Like it is sunny and I'm not ruminating or I'm not like kind of focusing, it's easy to just get like sucked into it and you're like, wait, I just went up for a walk on an hour and I wasn't paying attention. So it's nice to like
Oh yeah.
have a moment to be present with yourself during it.
Mhm.
Are you still on the medication or did you get off after 3 months?
So I paused it for a month and then, well, I paused it, I think, for 2 months, but I think there was like a miscommunication. So they restarted it a month in. And so now I have it and I took it like a few times, but I'm like, I feel okay.
Yeah.
So I don't think I'm gonna take it like super often because I don't want to like be on anything like all the time. That's kind of like my goal. So I think like I'll stay on it, but not every day.
Yeah. And that's like the goal for us too, is like not to keep people on it for forever. Like there's some people who they get the thing that they need after 3 or 4 months and they're like, "Oh, I feel more aware. I have a new coping skills. I have a new framework to live life." And when you're ready to get off, like, great, get off, get off. And then if you ever need us again for some people experiencing grief or like divorces or something, and they come back for a month and they have a little bit of a boost to help them get out of those loops that kind of feel like they're getting stuck in. And then great, like
Yeah.
that for us is a win, like fantastic. So that I think that's good to hear too, that you're like, oh, I feel like I've kind of come up a bit out of it and
Yeah.
I don't need to be on it forever,
Yeah. I just kind of wanted to like test and see because I read like some people come off it and they're like, oh no, I need to get back on. So I just wanted to see like how I would feel. And like, we all have like good days and bad days, or some even like good weeks and bad weeks. But overall, it's been pretty good since I've stopped. So it's good.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
What are some of the things that you like to do now? Like you mentioned, you're happier. Was there anything that you like brought back that you kind of had lost touch of when you were feeling depressed and anxious?
Um, yeah, I think just like hanging out with friends a lot more and just like not being like as hard on myself. Yeah, just getting out and about. Especially getting out in nature. So like I said, Washington, beautiful. I live close to Olympic National Park and I used to hike all the time. But that summer I like barely hiked at all. So I've been back out, not as much, but still getting out and enjoying it. So that's been good.
That's awesome. I'm from Bellevue, Washington.
Oh,
I grew
cool.
up in Bellevue and Marysville and then Seattle a little bit. So I've been in San Francisco for a few years, but
Oh,
I
cool.
love Washington.
Yeah,
Like,
no, I'm in Port Angeles. I love it here.
gosh, Olympic National, like we would just take ferries out there and do like a whole week in the national park, and it was like it's stunning. And there are so few people too. You can just drive for miles and like, oh
Yeah.
man,
No, I love it here.
I love it. I love it. I'm jealous.
Gotta move back.
I know my mom she's kind of trying to pull me back, but you can't. I love my job too much.
Yep.
Um, okay, so one of the other things I'm thinking like maybe if what how would you describe the treatment or getting started to somebody who doesn't know anything about it? Like just the process of it. Was it simple for you? Was there anything that like stood out for you? Anything also, I'm happy to take feedback too. That might have been a little challenging. Like, yeah, anything around that.
Yeah, no, I thought it was pretty simple, and I kind of liked that it was like it was hands-on, but it was also like hands-off too. So yeah, like getting started was super easy and super quick, which I appreciated, that it didn't take a super long time because a lot of people are coming in a pretty bad state. So you want to like hurry up and help them. So that was good. Then yeah, like it just came super fast and everything was explained, all the videos were there. So and then yeah, like the daily texts in the beginning, I feel like are super good just because you're always there if you need anything, and it gets you like thinking and questioning like how it's reacting with your body. So yeah, it was super, super good.
I love that. So one of the things you mentioned, you watched the videos and like some of them were helpful or like they kind of give you like a good starting off point. I'm currently working on developing new content with our cognitive psychologist co-founder. And wanting to make the right kinds of content to like feel really supportive. So there's a lot of guided meditations, there's like music, there's exercises that kind of teach different, like, if you're holding trauma or if you're anxious, what kinds of content did you find like helpful and what was like not so helpful? Just so I know, because I'm like, where,
Mhm.
there's so many directions we can go in, and I just hearing from a patient, like what for you would feel helpful.
Yeah. I don't know. Thinking back to the videos, I liked all like the informational ones, like about ketamine itself and like how it works, because I just like understanding like what's going on in my brain. And I like the meditations and everything. It's just I think for me personally, like I already do that in my own life. So it didn't like have as much of an impact on me since I've been doing it for so long. It's not new to me. Um, so yeah, I think any sort of content could still like benefit though.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, like I have a friend who does yoga. We actually just started a yoga YouTube channel.
Amazing.
Yeah, I'm like her back end, like I'm the editor and stuff. She's the yogi, um, doing some of those. It was kind of hard to move when you're like, like peaking on the ketamine, but as you're like coming down, I feel like I can move more freely. So that was cool too. Maybe that'd be an idea or something.
Yeah. Yeah. We were thinking movement too, of just like some people, certainly for me, like when I'm really stressed, my body gets super tense. And I think like I just kind of lose the connection with my own body. So I think even just sometimes I'm like, I'm so anxious all day and I'm crouching and like just kind of wiggling around kind of helps release some of that. So I'm intrigued. I'll work with Sharon and we'll keep trying to figure out the right thing. We're also working on like journal prompts, like a little section where you can journal a little bit, reflections that you can see for yourself. So
Yeah, I
well,
think that'd be cool, especially like in terms of like helping you realize like how far you've
yeah,
come too. That'd be
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Was there anything like just feedback too of your experience with your provider? Like anything, how was though, how were those interactions and like, yeah, anything you want me to share with the team or anything like that?
Um, Not really. I mean, I only had like two interactions with her. I didn't get to the other follow-up appointment. Because I think that was like 3 months and I canceled like just before, or I paused it just before. Yeah, she was super cool, informational. Yeah, another like quick and easy. Because I was just kind of worried, like initially, like I'm gonna have this consultation, they're gonna be like, no. But she was like super supportive. So
Good. No, I'm glad. We just want to make sure like provider appointments are going smoothly,
Mhm.
all of that. I think the whole process of just making sure like our patients know that at every point, like we actually care. We're
Mhm.
like reading all the things, we're like actually messaging back, you know? So no, I think that's really helpful.
Yeah, it
Um,
was cool because I was even worried about like my dosage, like getting too high and stuff. And she was like, no, you should just increase it just to like play around. Because I was just like worried and scared. But she's like, no, it's okay.
yeah, awesome. Would you, I mean, is there any like advice that you would give to somebody who's considering ketamine treatment or like just joyous specifically, like the microdose piece? You know, a lot of people are scared that like, oh, I'm going to dissociate. It's a high dose, you know, any like advice around that that you would give somebody?
Yeah, I mean, I would say don't be scared. Of course, I feel like there's always going to be some like feelings of like anxiousness around it, but I feel like it's a good alternative medicine than the SSRIs, and there's so many benefits to it that those type of drugs don't give you. And yeah, this Joyous is super easy to work with because you have so much freedom. Like someone like me who doesn't have health insurance, it was super easy and cheap considering the other options. So yeah, I feel like Joyous is great.
Thanks. I think one of the other things, like as you're saying, I didn't have health insurance. There's a lot of our patients who don't have health insurance or people who are really worried about it. And like them going to their doctor, the cost of seeing that doctor in itself is like $150
Yeah.
plus whatever medication they get. That's out of pocket, you know, whatever, like another $70 per month. And then I think the challenge for me too, I've been on a bunch of SSRIs in the past is just like they give you something and they're like, okay, come back in a month and tell me how it went. And there wasn't like a constant checking in with me of like, how is it going? How are you actually feeling? So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I think had you looked into like what it would have cost you to without medical insurance, like even just to see the doctor to talk about it?
I didn't like specifically look it up because I already knew that it
Yeah.
was gonna be insane. And then like out here in Port Angeles, there's like no doctors. And if there is, like you're booked out like 6+ months. So I just knew that it wasn't even like an option for me.
Yeah.
And yeah, I like the ketamine infusions. There's a bunch in Seattle, but like logistically for me, that would have been a lot because I would need someone to drive me back and forth. And they're super expensive, which I was still like considering, but I figured I'd try this first since it's cheap and accessible. So, and it worked.
Yeah. This is literally exactly what I was just talking to somebody where they were like, "Well, just go to a ketamine infusion place." And I was like, we literally serve some states where people live like so many hours away from a doctor that would even do it, like a
Yeah.
clinic that would even do it, let alone they're charging like $500, $800, $1,000 for a session. And I'm like, it just is so inaccessible. Like the, you know, people who actually need it are like everyday people. And like there's no way I could just, I don't know. So this is like
Yeah.
actually like so helpful to even just hear it. You're like, it's far away. I need someone to drive me.
Yep. Can't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So stuff like this is like so nice because it's the accessibility and like affordability that it's going to affect most people.
amazing. Okay. Thank you so much for sharing. I'm so sorry for the ongoing technical issues with
That's
all
all
of
right.
us. I really appreciate it. I'm gonna share this with Anna just after so she can just like hear your story a little bit and I'll reach out via email too. If we, you know, in the future, like if we want to cut me out and like put it on our website or something, if you feel comfortable with that, I'll send over a media release. You'll get to see everything before anything happens. But if you're good with that, I'll send it over.
Yeah, sure. Cool.
And I'll send you my direct email too. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to me.
All right, cool. Awesome. And yeah, if you need a yoga person, I got a friend.
No, send me your YouTube thing too. That would be really,
Yeah, I will. We just started it because it's something she's always wanted to do. I said it's funny, like this, all the stars aligned. Like I love doing like technology stuff, and like she's so good at yoga, and she's always wanted to do it online. So like, we just started it,
that's
and we're getting better.
that's awesome. Okay, well, yeah, send it to me. I want to see. That'd be
All
awesome.
right, perfect. Yeah.
Thanks, Taylor. I'll talk to you later.
Thanks. See ya.